Hi, everyone. So welcome. This is the Into Suffolk Pre-Arrival webinar series. This is our last webinar called Arriving in Boston. We have some special people here with you today. You have me, Rachel. I'm the Into Suffolk Student Engagement and Leadership Specialist. We also have Christine Perlmutter, the Assistant Director of Student Experience. And we have Sakal, who is one of our orientation volunteers. The orientation volunteers might be popping in throughout the presentation. I'm not sure. I kind of did a last minute, hey guys, do you want to come? So we're going to be talking about coming into Boston. We're going to be talking about different resources that we have for students who arrive. And we're also going to be talking about some really interesting things about Boston, the public transportation system here, and getting involved on campus and making friends. Okay, so to start, I'm going to open up everyone's favorite website, which is called the mbta.com. Now, MBTA, this is the Massachusetts Bay Transportation Authority. This is the department of the Boston or Massachusetts government that is the public transit, okay? Because Massachusetts is technically Massachusetts Bay. In this website, you can find schedules for all of the different types of trains and buses and ferries and different things that the MBTA offers. We can also use, I'm going to mute you. There you go. You can also talk about we're going to talk about the trip planner, and we're going to talk about fees, because fees are very important, right? We want to know how much things cost. Okay, so I'll put into the chat mbta.com so that you can get to it later. So the first thing we're going to look at is the subway lines. The subway lines are the best part of Boston. And we're really going to talk about this map. I know many of you have seen this map before because this is the map of the MBTA. This is what everyone looks at when they think of public transportation in Boston. Campus is located right here, right in the heart of downtown Boston, right in the center where this big square is. We're right about here, okay? So we're really wonderfully situated, and you can get to campus from any of the train lines. So even if you live on the E train, on the green line, on the E train on the green line down here at Heath Street, you can go all the way straight to campus, get off at Park Street, and walk to campus, okay? Even if you live down here in Quincy, you can take the red line all the way up to Park Street and get out. You can go to campus. Or you can do like what I do is I get up over here on Wonderland and I take the train all the way this way to Government Center, and then I walk to campus. And it's a 5-minute walk, maybe. It's usually a little less, depends on how many tourists there are in the city. Now, some people are like Christine, and she has to take a purple train. So see how there are all these little purple ones with squares? This is called the commuter rail, and it's very different from the subway system.
That's my line right there.
Or, oh, yeah, Franklin, yeah. So the subway, the commuter rail, the purple trains are very different. They are on an hourly schedule. So the train comes at the same time just about every day. So it's a little bit more convenient. However, if you miss the train, you have to wait an hour, which is not so good for time management. So when students are looking at subway lines or train stops, I try to recommend that students stay at a station that has both a purple train and one of the subways. For example, JFK UMass is over here in South Boston. It has a commuter rail station on the purple and a red line station on the red line. This allows you to use the subway if you need to. However, sometimes in inclement weather, the subway system might be going slow. You could just jump on the commuter rail and still get to South Station and get to campus very quickly. So staying at a station or being close to a station that is nearby one of the commuter rails is a great idea. If you have more questions about the MBTA or neighborhoods around Boston, you can send me an email and I'll go over that in more time just for you, okay? Now, one of the greatest parts about the MBTA is the payment system. So for example, everyone who uses, oh, I don't even have my Charlie card. Everyone who uses the MBTA, Into provides a hard Charlie card. We can either give you one or we're going to show you how to grab one. It's very easy. If you have your Charlie card, if you want to hold it up, that would be awesome. The Charlie card is great because you can use your Charlie card to take the train anywhere on the different colored lines. So let's say you are like Sakal, and Sakal lives over here. He lives in Alston, okay? And he wants to go shopping at Assembly Square. He's going to go shopping with Rachel at Assembly Square. So he gets on over here in Alston on the green train, and he pays $1.25 or something, $1.50. When he gets on the train, he takes it all the way here, and then he decides, oh, and he gets all the way here to Haymarket, and he goes, oh, you know what? I'm really hungry. I think I'm going to go to Chinatown. So he switches from the green line to the orange line and takes the orange line to Chinatown. It's only the $1.50, even though he did a change of color, even though he changed the train lines. You just pay the one fee. He goes to Chinatown, he has his lunch, and then he gets back on the train, pays his $1.50, and takes it to Assembly. He gets to Assembly Square and it is raining. So he does not leave the train station. He decides he's going to go shopping at a different mall. He goes back on the train. He doesn't have to pay because he didn't leave the station. He just goes back on, transfers at North Station because it's easy, gets on the green line and takes it all the way to the Prudential Center so that he can go shopping in a building outside of the rain. He has spent maybe $6, $7. Okay? The MBTA payment system is amazing. If there is any construction on it, they will allow you to, you don't have to pay. So if there's construction on the red line, you don't pay for the red line. If there's construction on the blue line, you don't pay for the blue line. Things like that. So the city is very good about making sure that our public transportation is working for us. Now, one thing I want to talk about over here. So this is the airport. I know you're all very concerned about arriving in Boston. So this is Logan Airport. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you guys can see what it looks like. Okay. So this is the airport, and you have the A terminal, the B terminal, the C, and the E. The E terminal is typically for international flights. So if you are coming directly from your home country into the United States, you will probably be arriving in E. Okay? If you are arriving and you have a connecting flight in New York or in California, you will probably be arriving in B, A, or C. I think most people are arriving in B. You don't have to pay to get on the train from the airport. Once you're at the airport, you have two options. You can get on the Silver Line. The Silver Line is a group of buses, okay? They're not actually trains, they're buses. However, there are the SL1 and the SL3, okay? You want to get on the SL1, okay? The SL1 train will take you from the airport all the way back to South Station. When you get to South Station, you can get on the red line, go one stop north to Downtown Crossing, and get on the orange line to go on the orange or the blue line. You can take it from South Station and go to the green line and to get on the to the red line to get on to the green lines. Okay? Once you do this connection, it doesn't matter where you connect, you don't have to pay. Okay? So it's a free train ride. They're not going to ask you to pay at the airport. Okay? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, Rich.
Okay. So you can get on the silver SL1 to South Station, and then at South Station, take it to whichever train station you need to go to. Once you're in the trains, you don't have to pay. And because you arrive on the train at the airport, they will not charge you. Woot woot. Okay? Now, I know you're seeing this little blue circle. This little blue circle is the shuttle bus, and it is free from the airport. It hits every single terminal. And if you get on an E, you go directly from E to airport train station. At airport train station, you walk in. I think you have to go up a flight of stairs and then down a flight of stairs to go into the city. Okay, to go this way. When I go to the airport, I prefer doing it this way because then I can just go home like that. But it's up to you. The shuttles and the blue line is a little bit faster than the silver line. However, it can be a little crowded. Okay. The silver line can also be crowded, but there's more silver line trains than there are blue line. Okay. You just need to make sure that when you get on the shuttle, it says that it's going to airport station. Okay. Sound good? Does anyone have
Yes.
does anyone have any questions about this?
Not for now.
Not for now. Okay. If you do have questions, you have my email. Please send me an email. I'll put it in the chat. Oh, Jimmy came. Awesome. So to get to South Station from the airport, I would say it's about 20 minutes. It's not very long, maybe a half hour if there's a little bit of traffic. Yeah. So the SL1 on the silver to red line is I'm putting this in the chat, is approximately 30 minutes. Okay. And then the airport shuttles from Logan to airport blue line station. Okay. We didn't realize Jimmy joined us. Hi, Jimmy. Jimmy is another of our student volunteers. I'm so glad you got to join. And Mario's here. Oh, this is great. I'm so excited. We have a bigger group. Okay. So at every terminal, every single one of the terminals is connected. Okay. And what's really great is they're not only connected, but there's a giant parking lot in the middle. Okay. That parking lot in the middle is where the Ubers are. Because I know you all love Uber, right? No? Nobody likes Uber? I love Uber. Okay, so let's talk about Ubers at Logan. Good morning, Rebecca. I'm okay. All right. Okay. So at Logan Airport and Lyft, it's the same thing. Yep, Lyft and Uber. You want to look for this sign. Okay. So in every one of the terminals, you will find this side and it's purple and it's on the big columns. Okay. The pickup locations are all here in central parking. Okay. And they're on the first floor of central parking. So you're going to follow for Lyft. I'm putting this in the chat. For Lyft and Uber, follow the purple signs from the baggage claim or when you exit customs towards the fourth floor, towards the Uber. It's called the purple sign. I just call it the purple sign. Okay. The Uber Lyft pickup is in the first floor of the central parking garage. Okay. Except for Terminal B. Okay. Okay. Let me put my headphones in. Sorry, guys.
There was like terrorist spot or something, but it wasn't in the UK.
No.
Just where
He's seeing her in Vienna. In Vienna.
And I think it was canceled.
So, as you can see here on this cool little map, I'm gonna zoom in if I can. Central parking is for A, C, and E. They'll connect to it. If you're at Terminal B, there's a parking lot in the middle of it, and that's where you can pick up your Uber. Okay? So if you come into Terminal B, it's a little complicated to get your Uber. I might recommend that you just take one of the shuttles or walk over here to central parking because the central parking pickup is much easier. Okay?
Positive crap. You know what I mean? It's not an angry.
Does that
crap.
make sense?
It's not- And it's not a like.
Does anyone have any questions?
But you know what I mean? It's like.
Not yet. All right. So make sure that you get all of your luggage and you go through customs. Do not request the Uber as soon as you get off your flight. Just wait. Once you have all of your things, hi Lewis, please get all your stuff, get it with you, and then open your Uber or Lyft app on your mobile phone and request a ride. You have to specify the terminal as your pickup location. So if you are arriving in international and you go through customs in Boston, you are in Terminal E. Okay? If you go through customs in a different airport, when you arrive in Boston, you could be at a different terminal. You could be at Terminal B, C, or A. And you have to say which one you're at when you request your pickup. Then we're going to look for the purple signs, and they're usually on the floor, and they're kind of look like this, or they're like an arrow with this image, okay? And you can just follow it. There will also be staff at the airport that you can ask for directions, okay? So I know that this sounds a little scary, but you can go into one of the shops and ask them where is the Uber or Lyft, okay? You can also ask the people who help with the luggage or any of the security. They'll let you know where to go, okay? Once you have gotten to the Uber Lyft pickup area, the app will let you know when the driver is picking you up and how close they are to you. You need to go to the designated pickup area, not the drop-off area, okay? Make sure you go to the pickup area. Okay? Don't stand in the drop-off because they won't find you. Make sure before you get into the car, when you see the car, you want to make sure that the person matches the license plate number. So make sure the license plate on the app matches the license plate number of the car. Okay? Sometimes the car color can be different, but you want to make sure that the license plate and the person inside the car match your phone. Okay. Here's how to do it on the Lyft app, which is about the same idea. You're still going to the central parking garage. You're still making sure that you are here and you do not select a terminal pickup. You need to go to the Lyft one, okay? You want to drag the pin to the nearest square. The purple shading around the airport will disappear when you are in those zones. Once within the squares, click Set Pickup to request the ride. Your driver will be there shortly, and it's usually about 7 to 9 minutes for the Lyft drivers or the Uber drivers to get to you, to pick you up. Okay? Sound good? Does anyone have any questions about this? No questions? Okay, great. All right, so now we're going to talk about Boston proper. Let me get my Google Maps up. That's not one. So campus is located right here in the heart of Boston, right? There are different hotels all over the city, okay? If you have not yet registered or booked a hotel room for your stay, please do so immediately, okay? The fall, this time of year, the hotels will will fill up very quickly because there are so many universities in the city. If you need help getting a hotel room, please let me know. We also have students who have been very lucky to find Airbnbs. If you don't have an apartment yet, you haven't registered or booked an apartment yet, I highly recommend you do not stay in a hotel for orientation. If you're living off campus, you need to get an Airbnb for at least the first 2 months of classes. You cannot skip class or skip orientation to go apartment hunting. Okay? You really need to be at orientation and you definitely need to be in your classes. Hotels in Massachusetts and in Boston can run up to $200 to $300 a day. An Airbnb can be up to $50 a day. So you really need to be aware. Try to find an Airbnb, okay, if you don't have an apartment building. Got it?
Yes.
Awesome. So if anyone doesn't have any questions about this, I'm going to jump into my PowerPoint. Are you guys okay for me to go back into the PowerPoint? Yes, no, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Thank you,
Yeah.
Lisa. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Okay. So we kind of already talked about a little bit of this, but so now we're going to talk about getting involved on campus and things to do here. Okay. So first of all, what does it mean to get involved? Getting involved is like a very American term. And what it really means is that you join a club. You join different organizations so that you have something to do, so that you're not just doing your homework and going to class. Okay? It's like getting involved in an organization, volunteering, things like that. Okay? So, why should you get involved while you're at school in the US? Who cares? It's not that important. First of all, you get to make new friends, right? You get to network, which is very important. You get to create a better community and connection with the university. And you get to give back. You get to be part of the Boston community. You get to really have a feel for where you're living. And you can also develop the skills needed for future careers. So Jimmy, who's here, Jimmy actually joined one of the student groups and clubs. He joined the Peer Leadership Council last December, and he's one of our volunteers for orientation as well. And so, Jimmy, do you want to talk about joining groups and clubs? Jimmy's also in China, in Taiwan right now, so he might be very tired. Because Jimmy's a very popular person. He goes out to lots of restaurants. He always knows where to get the best food. Yeah, he's in Taiwan. Jimmy's very quiet today. Okay. So we can do these kinds of things. There's other things that you can do as well. That's okay, Jimmy. I understand. So there's some other ways to get involved on campus. So this is an image of a workshop where students are sharing their language with other students. So the students here are actually teaching each other their native languages. And we find that we do that every spring. We're doing it a little differently this fall, but it's one of the ways that you can get involved is to offer to do this kind of thing, to volunteer to be one of the teachers. Okay. So you can get involved with the Office of Student Leadership and Involvement, the SLI office. You can join the Journeys program, Leadership Without Limits. You can join the program council so that you have a say in what's going on, on campus for different groups. In the fall, during orientation, we're going to give you information on how to attend the involvement fair so that you can meet all of these different groups and clubs on campus. You can learn about the cultural showcases that happen each semester. Last semester, we had a big party, and then in November, they had a giant fashion show. So they're really cool. There's the Lead Hership, which is a women's empowerment group. There's leadership through sailing. So like if you like to be on a boat, you want to go on the water. Leader Chef, learning how to lead through food, which I think is just awesome. I would totally be willing to try any food that any of you cook. Except for Sakal. Sakal's food's very spicy. I'm not eating Sakal's food. We also have the student leadership, the student government. So student government is both for graduate students and undergrads. There's 2 different governments. Hey, Ashwin, thank you for joining us. And then there's also the National Society of Leadership and Success. These are just a few. There are actually over 250 groups and clubs that you can join. So please really think about this, okay? When you come to university, you're not just coming to learn, books. You're coming to learn how to be a successful person. So let's talk about some of these 200 and something groups and clubs I just talked about. So we have student performing arts groups. So let's say you like to perform, you like music. There's the fusion dance. There's fusion Namaka, which is a dance group. There's the jazz band. The ramifications are an a cappella group. There's all these different types. And if you want to be part of it, but maybe you don't want to be on stage, they have the operators and technicians group too, which is really cool. There are a lot of cultural associations. One of the strongest groups on campus is the Asian American Association. They're very involved with the Chinese Student Association and the Vietnamese Student Association, which are some of the more powerful groups on campus. There's also an intercultural association, and there's an international student association for undergrads and graduate students. So if it doesn't exist, you can always make your own too, which is kind of awesome. There's also different academic and honors associations. So there's the Computer Science Club, an Entrepreneurship Club, the Finance and Investing Club. I know that they do programs and reports. And last spring, they actually went and presented at a national conference, and some of the Into Suffolk students went there. So that was really cool. There's an International Relations Club. For those of you who might be pre-law, there's mock trials and legal associations, there's marketing, all of these different types of groups and clubs on campus. This link right here will bring you to all 250 groups and clubs on campus. I do not have time to go through all 200 of them, but it is a really fun way to experience the city and to make new friends, because you want to reach out. You don't want to just be talking to the people you see every day. So Into Suffolk has a specific group just for leadership opportunities for international students. It's called the Peer Leadership Council. We have 2 members of it on our call today. And the PLC help to plan, promote, and lead Into Suffolk events and activities throughout the year. They have a lot of fun doing it too, as you can see in the pictures. Most of our orientation volunteers become Peer Leadership Council members, and PLCs typically become orientation volunteers. Into Suffolk volunteer opportunities to prepare, promote, and participate in events and interact with students to help the leadership. So when we're going on events, helping keep up with what everyone's doing. If we're going to a museum, sometimes we go out of the city. We go to like different cities in Massachusetts, and having PLC members there is great because it's other leaders. And these are students. These are undergraduate and graduate students who are there to be peer leaders. They were Into students. They were international students. They were first-year students. They understand what it's like to come to a new country and not feel 100% comfortable. So the Into Suffolk orientation volunteer leaders help students feel comfortable and supported when you first arrive in the US. And they really want to make sure that you feel like you belong here. That's really what they really work towards. And these are just some pictures of the PLC and the volunteers from a couple of semesters past. All right, so final pre-arrival steps. Oh, huh, that's weird. This wasn't updated. I thought this got updated. Yay. Whee. All right, so does anyone know when on-campus move-in day is? For students who are living on campus? It is August 26th and 27th. Okay, so if you're living on campus, that's when you go. When is orientation? Nobody knows when orientation is?
28.
The 28th. Thank you. Oh my gosh.
I was about to say, I know.
Yeah, you don't get to talk. You don't know, Christine. You're not allowed to answer. Yes, it's August 28th. Thank you. All students are required, okay, to attend all sessions of orientation. Now this 26th through the 27th is really important as well, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Tuition and fees, you need to pay those before you come here. If you need the link, it's right here, or you can email John for more information. You will get your schedules at you'll get your schedules at orientation, okay? And undergraduate students really must take the math placement exam before they arrive. If anyone has questions about the math placement exam, please send us an email at into, and I'm going to put that in the chat, into@suffolk.edu. Just send us an email and we'll help you take that test. It's really important that you take it before you arrive. That is only for undergrads. So if you're a graduate student, you don't have to worry about it. Okay? Sound good? Woohoo! All right. So, airport transfer requests. August 26th and 27th. Okay? If you are arriving to campus on August 26th or 27th, we will pick you up at the airport. We'll pick you up. You don't have to worry about the bus. You don't have to worry about trying to figure out how to get to your Uber and Lyft. You don't have to try to do any of that stuff. We will be there. There'll be a man standing outside of baggage claim with a sign that has your name on it, and you get a pickup. Okay? But to do that, you have to arrive August 26th or 27th, and you have to fill out the arrivals form. This is the link to the arrivals form. You should have gotten it like several times, but that's okay. I will put this in the chat. Okay. Please make sure that if you want a pickup and you're arriving on these days, you let us know. We will also need to know where we are taking you to. So we need to know your destination. So book your hotel, great. We need to know what hotel, book your hotel, let us know what hotel you're going to. Book your flight, give us your hotel. If your flight is going directly to campus, just let us know you're going to campus. Okay? Sound good? Question?
Sound good.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. All right. So math placement examination. This is like the big thing for undergraduate students. And I really have to talk about it because it's very important. Okay. All undergraduate students must take the math placement test in Canvas. You will not have a class schedule if you do not complete the math placement test. Do not take the test on your phone or the tablet. You must use your laptop computer. The test consists of 35 questions, and it's just arithmetic and then goes into algebra and a little trigonometry. You're allowed 60 minutes, but if you finish early, that's okay. It's okay if you can't finish everything. Just do what you can. You must do the test at once. You cannot save it and go back. Okay? You can click on Canvas and log in using your username and password. You have any more questions, you can let me know, and I will send you information about math placement. Okay? Make sure you take your math placement test before you come to the States. Please. Pretty please, make sure you get this done. You don't want to spend orientation in a testing room. You want to really get this done, okay? And it's not that hard. We're not doing e-check-in, so don't worry about that. Huh. All right. So this is one of the last things that I wanted to talk about. Several of you on this chat are in our WhatsApp group. We have a group chat going. And Christine and I answer people's questions in the group chat all day, every day, multiple times a day. Sometimes it's the same question, but a different week. It's great. We also play trivia, which I will be posting tomorrow morning. It is a really good way to meet your new classmates and get your answers to questions really quickly. I highly recommend you click the link here and you join if you haven't joined already. This WhatsApp group is a really good way for you to connect with the staff, but it is also a really good way for you to understand what's going on, because sometimes people have questions that you don't have. And they'll ask it and you'll be like, oh yeah, that's a really good question. Okay. All right. So thank you. I'm going to stop talking. And I'm going to stop the recording because I want you guys to ask questions. So let me stop the share and let me stop our recording so that everyone feels a little bit more comfortable with this. Yes.